you hear that? That's the sound of my neighbours upstairs having sex. I swear it's like a conspiracy. Every time I turn on this bloody camera, noise comes from somewhere. You ever notice how if you're in a hotel room and someone starts up in the room next door, you can't stop but listen to it? You know, you just find yourself tuning in and listening to every detail of it. Every groan, every moan. I'll be back in a minute when they finish. Okay, so we're back. They finished. Didn't take long. I guess that's married sex for you. It's over and done with it in a few minutes. And the funny thing is, here in Portugal, Friday night is sex night. It's called sexta-feira. True thing. No, not really. Anyhow, point being, the difference between hearing something and listening to it. So this is one of those things that my clients keep getting asked about face. And I'm guessing if you're watching this video, you're in the same camp. Here's the general gist, works most of the time. Hearing is something that we do without thinking, right? If you're sat on the bus, minding your own business, you hear everything going on around you. You hear the engine of the bus, you hear people talking on their phones, blah, blah, blah. That is hearing. We're not thinking about it, it's not conscious, it's just there. Bit like I could hear my neighbours upstairs. But listening is when we are paying attention to that thing. We're actually concentrating on it. So you would listen to, say, like a podcast or something, yeah, because you want to understand what's going on and, you know, get as much information as possible. And I need to stop looking at the screen behind the camera and at the camera itself. Hello, camera. So listening, you're paying attention, you are focused. But this is not always true, because notice a minute ago I said, do you hear that? Yeah, as in, are you paying attention to what's going on? So it's not always so cut and dry as everyone likes to claim. So, but 90% of the time, hearing is something we do passively. Listen is something we do actively. So I can hear my neighbours having sex. I can hear the dogs barking outside. Right at this minute I can hear the obnoxious children on the other side of this wall, which I'm hoping you can't hear. I like to listen to music, in particular Metallica and Guns N' Roses, because I'm an old man, you know. And I love to listen to comedy shows. Now, of course, English being English, there is a couple of other things. Sometimes in English we will say, you need to hear what I'm saying, which sounds contradictory because that person is asking you to pay attention to them. You would think they would say something like, you need to listen to me, and they do that as well, but they will also say, you need to hear me, or they will say, you're not hearing the message I'm sending out. Okay, especially religious types. I've heard this in many sermon or whatever in churches around the world, where they say, you know, you need to hear God's message. Really? And lastly, of course, you got the whole business meeting thing, where you might get some angry business type shouting at everyone else saying, you're not listening to me. They don't literally mean that everyone's tuned out and not paying attention. In that example, not listening to me just means you're not understanding me. Everyone can hear very well what's going on. They're shouting at me, but they're just not understanding. But it's another way of using the word listening. And yeah, I think that pretty much covers the basics of listening and hearing, at least for now anyways. I got a large whiskey to finish off, so I'll see you next time.